All right, welcome to day 3 of Math C. We're going to go ahead and talk about the standard deviation and the range of a data set. So please make sure, as always, you have your graphing calculator on hand and you're ready to go. First thing I want to talk about is the range. The range is just the difference between the lowest and the highest value in the data set. So my highest value is 9, my lowest is 4. I just simply subtract them, so therefore my range is 5. Simple enough. Now, standard deviation. The standard deviation is the average distance a typical data point is from the mean. Now, if you remember, we learned 2 days ago that the mean is just the average numbers. So it's about what most data is going to be falling under. And we can find this easily enough with our graphing calculators. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to type up the directions for you, so that way you can see the order in which you need to do it. And then once I'm all done, if you'd like, you can pause the video to write them down on your own notes. So you're going to want to hit the second key on your calculator, which is located towards the top. It's right under the y equals. Then from there, you're going to want to hit the list button, which is technically labeled stat. Then you're going to see a nice little screen that says names, OPS, and math. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to scroll to the right to where it says math. Then from there, you're going to want to go ahead and go down to where you see STDDEV, parenthesis. And in order to go ahead and click that, you're going to hit the enter button to do so. So now on your screen, you should see STDDEV, open parenthesis. So now what we need to do is we need to insert one of these curly brackets that you see up here on my example. So that curly bracket right before my 5. So in order to do that, we're going to hit the second key again. Then we're going to hit our parentheses button, because that allows us to get that curly bracket in there. So now you should see STD, DEV, regular parenthesis, curly parenthesis. And then you're going to go ahead and enter in your data. So you're going to hit 5. Then you're going to have to enter in that comma. So that comma is located right below the sign button, or SIN. And you're going to enter in all your data just like you see it above. So 5, 4, 5. Oops, too many commas. 5, 5, 5, 6, 6, 6, 6, 7, 7, 7, 7, 8, and 9. Remember, you should have all of those commas in there, just like you see it on your example. Now what we need to do is we need to close our curly brackets. So in order to close the curly brackets, we're going to go ahead and hit that second button again. Then you're going to go ahead and hit the parentheses to give you that closed curly bracket like what's behind the 9. And then you're going to close it again with another parenthesis, so that it should look like this. I'm going to cheat a little bit. Now, again, your calculator is going to split that up, so it's not going to be nice and neat in a nice line like that, but you should see all your numbers in order. Then what you're going to do is you're going to hit your enter button, and you should get a value. Are we all getting the value of 1.31? So that's saying that every number is about 1.31 from our mean. And if you recall, our mean of this data set was 6.1. So if you take your, pick a number, Say you're trying to get to 7. If you take that 6.1 plus 1.31, you get a little more than 7, but you get very close to that original 7. So again, it's the average distance. That's the point I want to make. It's not going to get you to the exact number, but it's going to be an average. So most data points are 1.31 away from that mean of 6.1 that we had found 2 days ago. All right, we're going to go ahead and use it again in this next example. So this table shows the length in thousands of miles of some of the longest rivers in the world. Find the standard deviation for the data. So again, we're going to go ahead and recall. We're going to go ahead in our calculator and we're going to get the standard deviation. So we're going to go to, I'm going to type it out for you again so that you have it. Second, you're going to look for list, which is on the stat button. Then you're going to go over to the right until you have the word math highlighted. Then you're going to go ahead and go down to std.dev, open parenthesis. Now, the values you're going to pause. Before we can start entering values, because it's not going to let us until you do your curly bracket. So again, you're going to have to do that second button. Then you're going to have to do parentheses so we can get to that curly. Now you're going to enter in only these 5 data points. So we have 4.16. And again, we still need those commas, so make sure you put your commas in there. Your 4.08, comma, your 2.35, comma, your 1.90, comma, and your 1.78. Now, we're going to need to close those curly brackets again. And this is starting to run into my thing. So in order to close the curly brackets, remember we're going to hit that second. I'm going to hit enter. We're going to hit that second button again, close parentheses, and then another parentheses to go ahead and close it off. So in your calculator, it should look like the following. Lastly, that 1.78. Again, once you hit that equal button, or the enter button, excuse me, you can go ahead and you should get about 1.18. Wanted that in a different color. So the length in the thousands of miles is about 1.18 for the longest rivers in the world. Again, remember that is a very large distance, thousands of miles. All right, we got one more example here. So the table shows populations in millions of 11 eastern states of the 2000 census. Find the mean and the standard deviation of the data to the nearest tenth. So the biggest things that I see is we're finding 2 things this time. And it's telling us to what value. So remember, it goes 10th, then 100th. So we want to find this one, which is 1 value after the decimal. Okay, so let's go ahead and find that mean. Oops, my apologies. So we're going to go ahead and calculate that. So we're going to take all of our data, so that 19 plus the 12.3 plus 8.4 plus 6.3 plus 5.3 plus 3.4 plus 1.3 plus 1.2 plus 1 plus 0.8 plus 0.6, which should get us about 59.6. And then we're going to take that divided by the number I see. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Which gives me about 5.4. And now we're going to go ahead and calculate that standard deviation. So I'm going to write out what we're going to put in our calculators. So 19, 12.3, 8.4, 6.3, 5.3, 3.4, 1.3, 1.2, 1.8, and 0.6. Remember, do not forget your curly brackets or else it will not work. And you should get a standard deviation of 5.9, which means that most of the data falls within an average of 5.9 from that mean of 5.4. Now remember, not everything will. Most of it will, but not everything. If you take a look, my New York is probably not going to fall underneath that. Nor will my Pennsylvania. But I got everything else. And again, we'll talk about how to get these two in to fall within that in the next coming examples. All right, let's see what we got left. All right, that's it. So, have a great day.